Essex TV.
They've got this very obvious structure, gill structure, and they can be pretty well any colour on top. The most common one is called the common yellow Rasuluh, and this one too is very common, called the charcoal burner for obvious reasons. But they can be red on top. There's one called a blackening Rasuluh, which starts off white and goes black. There's maroon coloured ones, and they're not great in the kitchen. This one is one of the better ones to eat, but I'd still probably only give it 3 to 4 out of 10. And on a day when we're finding ceps, I wouldn't get excited about that. But if I'm not finding anything, then I would.
Yeah.
This is quite interesting. These are obviously Boletus mushrooms. Look at the sponge. Yeah, same family as the cep. Because they've got sponge, which goes slightly blue when you touch it. And these have just come up overnight. They're called red crack Boletus. But you can see the difference between the cep, which is very firm,
Yeah.
and this, which is very soft in texture. But it's quite good in sauces and nut roasts and general cooking to have these mushrooms. They've got a nice flavour, but they're just very soft of texture. And as for filling in the hole, I wouldn't really bother with these ones, filling in the hole. They're very common.
And so, just to confirm, the filling in the hole means that they grow back more next year, or tomorrow.
Very soon. So you'll notice that I'm really looking about a certain distance away from a tree, about 3 to 4 meters away from the base of the tree.
Yeah.
I see. It's a lovely path as well. I always think, even if I'm angry at finding competitors, I always then think, well, it's lovely to be out here anyway. Look at all the oak trees. Probably too late for them now, but there's a mushroom that grows on oak called chicken of the woods. And I've got some chicken in the kitchen. Oh, there's some fly Agaric.
Where? Oh yeah.
It's quite a nice one. And there. There's 4.
4.
From first glance.
Okay. Can you tell us that stuff about the moon again?
Yeah, so because of course they're 95% water, and so the magnetic pull or the gravitational pull of the moon does affect the cycle of mushrooms. So certainly it's been true this week. There have been huge numbers of mushrooms growing, and possibly because it was a new moon on Sunday. It could have been a full moon. One of the other.
So they have more, then presumably they've got more water in them than we have. We're 75% water.
Yeah, they're
aren't we?
95.
They're 95.
Yeah. Could be 96 in this weather. Okay. Well, look, here's another red crack, which I'm making nut roasts today, so here's the useful. You can see why they're called red cracked, because of the redness on their stem. There's another one we might see called erythropus, which can be quite large and has red gills, and as soon as you cut it, it goes blue, like within seconds. So that's not. And then there's another one we ought to see called a bay Boletus, which is worth 8 out of 10. It's much firmer than the red cracked, but not quite as firm as the cep, and nowhere near as potentially large as the cep. It's a bit muddy here.
Yeah. So which is the best wood in You know, without giving your secret places, which is the best wood for mushrooms in Brentwood?
Well, at the moment, Will Park is.
Ah.
Park's where some people say you can find all these mushrooms in Thorndon, but I don't know Thorndon quite as well.
Oh,
I mean, because although you say Will Park is good, you can walk for 10 minutes without finding anything.
yeah.
Easily.
Where are we at the moment?
We're in Will Park.
Oh, we're in Will Park. Okay.
Yeah. This is a very good area, generally because it's very damp. So even when it's very dry everywhere.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing here, this milk caps there, the interesting thing to point out here is you have to be a bit of a detective when you're looking for mushrooms.
What
That's
because
what
they're disguised, you mean?
No,
Why?
it's because if you go into an area where you've never been before, you have to look for clues. One clue that you're going to find a cep is this mushroom here, called the miller.
The miller.
The miller. You smell it. It smells of baker's shops.
Yeah.
It's mealy. And wherever you find millers, you know you've got a very good chance of finding a cep.
Okay.
So the fly agaric and this mushroom and other amanita are clues that you're in an area where ceps will grow.
Right.
And they do grow here. I can't see any at the moment. I've picked this area quite well. And it may be too wet. It's a damp area here. So the miller is a great indicator mushroom. And this is just as true for Francois in France. He finds millers. They are edible, and you could dry them. You can see millers there, very white. I can see milk caps, but not ceps. There was some over here yesterday. Then we'll go up to the top where I think there's some more fly agaric. I think we've covered a lot of things already.
Yeah.
Hi. Morning. Look at this.
Well, hold on.
That?
Let me have a look.
In the middle of... Wow, mind where you put your feet. Very rare to find them in the middle of a field.
Okay.
But look over there. Millers. So you know you're in an area where ceps are going to grow. I'm going to leave that one. I might take that one.
I'm going to take that one.
So we're going to
Let's have a good look at it once you've pulled it out.
fill in the oil. It's a bit dirty. Sometimes it's worth using the knife to take off. It didn't come out. It did split away from some of the stalk. So I didn't pick it 100% beautifully. And right next to it, another one.
Yeah.
You may even have another one behind you, I'm not sure. But that one we want to just cover a bit. There's definitely some down here. Now look over here.
What are these?
You should be able to tell me, because we've already looked
The
at
one
these
with the-
dots, these
Yeah.
amanita.
Yeah.
I don't think the blusher is so called because it has a certain redness about it. Those don't have any redness about them, so I think they're probably the much more dangerous panther caps. Panther caps, which is an amanita, which is, if not deadly, it's certainly well poisonous. But finding these mushrooms growing out in the middle of a field, where they, as I said, the mycelium attach themselves to the root structure. So you've got the root structure obviously from these trees coming out into the field, but they don't normally grow in the middle of a field. So it's very good year for chestnuts as well.
Are they out yet then?
Oh yeah, October the 13th I normally reckon is the best time, but there was some falling even yesterday. So obviously the later ones, the ones that fall last, are the bigger ones. Can't see any ceps here today. Look at these ones, these are quite interesting.
Thrown on the hornbeam.
Yeah, common ink caps. If you eat those, and you drink alcohol, then you're very ill. And if you drink alcohol for up to a week afterwards,
Very ill.
you're very ill. And they used to be used as a cure for alcoholics.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. If you look into the field, you'll see parasols.
Yeah, I can see them. They're beautiful big ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just say what you do again with the...
So if you get a parasol that's large but not too manky, so a mature one, you put it on a plate, put salt, pepper and olive oil on it, perhaps a bit of garlic, and then you put it under the grill for 8 minutes.
Oh,
Intoxicated by the sight of all these mushrooms.
I'm not sure I've ever seen you this excited before.
Well, it's very exciting, yeah. Look, these are quite interesting ones as well. Haven't seen those yet. This is a sign of late autumn.
What are they?
They're called clouded agarics. Said to be edible by some, but known to cause gastric upsets in others. So again, a bit of Russian roulette. And there are 3 late autumn mushrooms, 2 of which I've seen quite commonly. This one, the tawny funnel cap, and the bluet. And bluet's good to eat. These are very young. There's some there. There's some here as well. There's another troop here and there's another troop there. Like monkeys in the forest.
Like what? Monkeys?
Yeah, just sort of a troop of them there, a troop of them there, a troop of them there, and a troop of them here.
Actually, this is in a circle, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, they do grow in circles. Look here. They do grow in rings.
It is like a ring, isn't it?
Yeah. In fact, you mean the whole thing's a big ring?
A big ring.
There as well.
It's like a big ring.
Yeah, I've never really noticed that. Yeah, it's like a big, really big ring, because of those over there. I don't read books. I like going out in the woods and reading the woods.
Yeah, well, that's what the Druids used to do. They would read nature.
Yeah. Well,
you know about the Druids, don't you?
Not 100%.
Because they used to drink reindeer pee.
Yeah, after they'd eaten the fly Agaric.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I said we were going to find some juices. We've passed the juices. This is another member of the Amanita family, and it's a false death cap. Again, it's got the marks on the top, which suggests it's an Amanita. Quite a bulbous base. There's a semblance of a ring here, and the death cap has got a greenish tinge to it. So a more creamy coloured mushroom, a much more common mushroom, is the false death cap, Amanita citrina. That's a roll rim. Just about tell. Very small mushrooms are difficult to identify, and very large mushrooms, very old mushrooms, are difficult to identify. But this one, you can just about see that it's rolling round at the edge, so it's a roll rim or Paxillus involutus. Poisonous, possibly deadly, but they eat it in Poland.
How do they get the poison out?
They put salt on it and let all the toxins drain out. You can see how common these ones are, the lilac mycena.
Let's have a look.
Very common, not edible.
Not edible.
You've got to make sure you don't mix up colours. No good being a mushroom picker if you're colourblind. So you've got the lilac mycena, and then you've got the amethyst deceiver.
Yeah.
end up on my backside as long as the mushrooms are intact. You see the deer charging down here.
I'll go around this way.
Show you what I found?
Yeah.
This is a Boletus mushroom. It's called erythropus. Erythropus being Greek for red, or sometimes called scarlatina. If you cut it, see how quickly it goes blue.
Yeah. Is that an eater?
Yeah, it's a sort of, it's a bit more unusual texture, shall we say. It's not quite as good as the set. Probably 7 out of 10.